So this is like, so what happened was, January 2024, I recorded a monologue. I improvised a monologue on the spot. I just felt like doing so. I had no idea. I didn't have the full idea. I just started talking. And the other day, I was just thinking of all the interesting things that I should level myself up on now that I'm getting thousands of views, thousands of views. And I thought, oh, that monologue. Actually, in fact, I thought I'd make up something on the spot, like a monologue. And then I remembered back to the monologue that I had made up in 2024. I recorded it. I watched it back yesterday, and I thought about some different details of the story this time that I might just change. There's some details in it. I watched it back, and I was like, I got 2 minutes in, and I thought, no, I'm going to re-record it. So, darlings, in my luck, let's see if this can be under 10 minutes. So, a monologue and improvised. About 4 years ago now, about 4 years ago, Jessie was a friend. Jessie was a friend. I was in the car with Jessie. We'd just been to the beach and had a nice couple of hours there. And on the way back, we're in Jessie's car. She was driving. And she said to me, I'm going to see my grandma today. I'm going to visit my grandmother. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, that sounds, how is your grandmother? And she said, oh, she's well. And I said, well, have a good time visiting your grandmother. Have a good time visiting her. She said, would you like to come? And I said, oh, to see your grandmother. She said, sure. She said, would you like to come with me? And so I said, oh, would that be okay? She said, that's fine. It'll be totally fine. So I accompanied Jessie to visit her grandma. And so we got to a particular suburb, upper class, and what appeared to be the street. It had high hedges and tall trees. I think these houses would have been built in the 30s. And had a particular air about the place. We stopped at a particular mansion-type place of mansion. And I was very excited because I always wanted to go into a mansion. Never been in one. And I was very excited. And so there were big hedges. And those plants, what are those plants called, which the particular plant with, and I walked into, and it felt, well, surreal considering the fact I'd never been to a mansion before, and had a very particular air about it. We went in, and the entranceway was made, the floor was made of all marble, all old, yet taken care of, marble, and there was a staircase, and Jessie said to me, I'm going to say hello to Grandma. I said, okay, cool. And she said, there's a lounge in the other room, or she said, you could have a wander. She said, there's paintings around here. Feel free to have a wander around the bathrooms over there if you need to use it. She said, I'm going to talk to Grandma. You have a wander and relax. I said, I won't go too far. She said, oh. And so Jessie went up the stairs and to her right and went to find her grandma. And I thought, what am I going to do? I thought, what will I do? I was a bit overwhelmed with excitement. I was sort of looking every which way, taking in all the detail, and all spectacular. And I thought, I'm going to go up the stairs. So I went up the stairs, and for some reason I looked to my left. And I thought, I'm going to walk to my left. And there was a corridor hallway, and it seemed to have paintings in it on the wall. And so I walked down this corridor. I walked down there, and I remember the smell of yesteryear, like it was the smell of decades gone by. I wouldn't exactly call it fresh. It was just a smell, like an olden smell, like experiences and situations, and just a smell, a yesteryear smell. Not of my generation, Generation X. And Generation X. I started walking down this hallway, and some of the floorboards were creaking, they were creaking. And I walked down the hallway, and I got to a door. This door was on my right, and it was partially open. And I looked at it, and there was sunlight. In the sun, I could see sunlight, and there was a painting on the wall from the hallway, and I looked at the painting. It was a man, and there was like a vase of flowers to his right, and to his left was a cat, and it was all in the shadows. It seemed like he was looking at me. What are those white things? Those white things from the 18th century or the 16th century, those white frilly, like the Shakespearean times. He had one of those, he was wearing one of those. And his face was pale, and his hair was black and short. For some odd reason, I don't know what overtook me, I don't know what came over me. I was very respectful of other people's places and privacy. But I with my hand, I stood up close to the door, and with my hand, I pushed the door, but nothing happened. And then I just pushed it a bit harder, and it creaked a few inches. My heart almost stopped. Oh my goodness, my heart almost stopped. I thought someone's going to shout at me, "Who's there? What do you want?" And there was nothing. And so I pushed the door. I pushed the door further. I pushed it, and it gave a swing. It opened about 30 centimeters more. And I was like, and I was like, I should leave now. I think it's time to leave. And I got so inquisitive. I was so curious. I got really a very inquisitive nature. And so I stepped in. I stepped in. I appeared into the room and looked at the bed. I was like, and then for some odd reason, I walked in, and the floorboards creaked, and I looked at the bed. And at first I thought there was somebody there. At first I actually thought there was somebody there. And then upon second look I realised that it was like a half-life size human doll. I mean, not human, it was a doll which was half-life size. So for a split second I thought that someone was actually on the bed, because this doll was wearing a gown and had blonde hair. And I had to take I had to do a double take, because it was a bit, and I looked and I was like, and And I thought, oh, I shouldn't be in here. I never should be in here. And then my moment was kind of frozen. My heart started to beat faster. And I thought, oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? And so I didn't even really see the things around me. I was just like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And so I turned around to look at the bed again, because the doll, I was curious about the doll. It was a bit interesting. And then I just looked up. And there was this painting on the wall, this old painting. It looked like it was from the 16th century, maybe the 17th century, 1700s. And I went into a trance. I was just looking at this painting. The painting was a young man. A painting of a man about the age, early 30s. And he was in this position, he was in this pose of position, like he was sitting down, and he was very pale of the skin. He had black hair, shortish, not short, but shortish black hair, and he had these rose red cheeks. I immediately noticed these rose red cheeks, and his eyes. I was looking at his eyes. He had these blue eyes. Oh, they were blue eyes. I felt like he was gazing at me. He had another world filled to him, different century, different time. And he was holding a rose, a red rose. And the thing is that his eyes and the red rose complemented each other. And he was wearing a black outfit. And he had the same kind of white collar on, Shakespearean collar. His black outfit was like a puffy black and partly shining. I felt like that he was looking at me. I felt like that he was looking at me. And I was suspended in time. I was like, I didn't want to look into it intensely. I was just